The reign of Constantine, transforming Rome for eternity. Introduction. The reign of Constantine the Great, AD 306 to 337, stands as one of the most pivotal periods in the history of the Roman Empire. Emerging from a time of profound crisis and transformation within the Roman world, Constantine's rule marked the beginning of a new era, not only for Rome but also for the world at large. His leadership was characterized by sweeping changes in religious, political, and cultural life, which left an indelible mark on the trajectory of Western civilization. The establishment of Christianity as a legally recognized and eventually dominant religion, the founding of Constantinople, and the various reforms in governance and military structure all contribute to Constantine's reputation as a transformative figure in history. Constantine's rise to power was set against the backdrop of a Roman Empire struggling to maintain its vast territories and diverse populations. The late 3rd century had seen the empire divided into multiple administrative units under the tetrarchy system established by Emperor Diocletian. This division was intended to address the empire's growing difficulties in defense, administration, and governance, yet it also led to intense power struggles among the ruling elites. Constantine, through a combination of military prowess, political acumen, and perhaps a degree of destiny as some contemporaries believed, emerged victorious in this turbulent period, ultimately unifying the empire under his rule. One of Constantine's most significant and lasting contributions was his approach to religion. Prior to Constantine, Christians had faced varying degrees of persecution, particularly under emperors who viewed the Christian refusal to participate in state cults as a threat to Roman unity. Constantine's Edict of Milan in 313 AD not only legalized Christianity, but also set the stage for it to become the empire's dominant religion. His convening of the First Council of Nicaea in 325 AD further solidified his role in shaping Christian doctrine and practice, a role that would have profound implications for the future of Christianity and the world. In addition to his religious policies, Constantine implemented a range of political, military, and economic reforms that would reshape the Roman Empire. His decision to establish a new capital in Byzantium, renamed Constantinople, was a strategic move that reflected the shifting centers of power within the empire. Constantinople would not only serve as a political and military hub, but also as a cultural and religious center that would endure for centuries as the heart of the Byzantine Empire. Constantine's legacy is a complex and multifaceted one. He is revered as a saint in the Eastern Orthodox Church, yet his reign also involved acts of ruthlessness and autocracy that have been criticized by historians. Nevertheless, there is no denying the transformative impact of his rule. Constantine's reign marked the beginning of the transition from the ancient Roman world to the medieval Christian world, setting the stage for the development of Europe and the Western tradition. This essay will explore the various dimensions of Constantine's reign, examining how his actions and policies reshaped Rome for eternity. Part 1. Early life and rise to power. Constantine was born in AD 272 in Nisus, a city in the province of Moesia, modern-day Niš, Serbia. He was the son of Flavius Valerius Constantius, a military officer who would later become Caesar, and Helena, a woman of humble origins who would be venerated as a saint. Constantine's early life was marked by the complexities of the Roman imperial system, particularly the division of power initiated by Emperor Diocletian in 293 AD. Diocletian's tetrarchy divided the Roman Empire into 4 parts, each ruled by a senior emperor, Augustus, and a junior emperor, Caesar. Constantius, Constantine's father, was appointed Caesar in the West, with the responsibility of governing the provinces of Gaul, Britannia, and Hispania. Constantine's upbringing within this politically charged environment undoubtedly shaped his understanding of power and governance. He spent much of his youth at the imperial court, where he was exposed to the military and political affairs of the empire. His education was comprehensive, encompassing military training, rhetoric, and the study of Greek and Latin literature, all of which prepared him for future leadership roles. However, his position was precarious. As the son of a Caesar, he was a potential heir to the throne but also a potential target in the dangerous world of Roman politics. In AD 305, Diocletian and his co-Augustus Maximian abdicated, a move that triggered a series of events leading to Constantine's rise to power. Constantius was elevated to the position of Augustus in the west, while Galerius became Augustus in the east. Constantine, who had been held as a virtual hostage at Galerius's court, fled to join his father in the west. Following Constantius's death in 306 AD, Constantine was proclaimed Augustus by his troops in Eboracum, modern-day York, England, marking the beginning of his bid for power. The following years were marked by a series of civil wars as Constantine sought to consolidate his authority. His primary rivals included Maxentius, who had declared himself emperor in Rome, and Licinius, who controlled the eastern provinces. The Battle of Milvian Bridge in 312 AD was a decisive moment in Constantine's rise. According to Christian tradition, on the eve of the battle, Constantine had a vision of the Christian cross and the words, "In this sign, you will conquer." He ordered his soldiers to adorn their shields with the Christian symbol, and despite being outnumbered, Constantine's forces achieved a stunning victory. This event not only solidified Constantine's control over the Western Roman Empire, but also marked a significant turning point in his relationship with Christianity. By 324 AD, Constantine had defeated all his rivals and became the sole ruler of the Roman Empire. His victory over Licinius at the Battle of Chrysopolis marked the end of the Tetrarchy and the beginning of Constantine's autocratic rule. His consolidation of power set the stage for the sweeping reforms and religious policies that would define his reign and leave a lasting legacy on the Roman Empire and beyond. Part 2. Constantine's religious policies and the rise of Christianity. Constantine's reign is perhaps most famously associated with the rise of Christianity within the Roman Empire. His religious policies not only transformed the spiritual landscape of Rome, but also had profound implications for the future of Western civilization. The Edict of Milan, issued in 313 AD by Constantine and Licinius, was a landmark moment in the history of Christianity. This decree granted religious tolerance throughout the empire and specifically legalized Christianity, which had previously been subject to intermittent persecution. The motivations behind Constantine's support for Christianity have been the subject of much debate among historians. Some argue that Constantine's conversion was a genuine act of faith, while others suggest it was a calculated political move designed to unify the empire under a single, cohesive religion. Regardless of his personal beliefs, it is clear that Constantine recognized the potential of Christianity as a unifying force within the empire. Constantine's involvement in Christian affairs extended beyond mere tolerance. He played an active role in the promotion of Christian orthodoxy and the suppression of heretical movements. The most notable example of this was the First Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, which Constantine convened to address the Arian controversy, a theological dispute concerning the nature of Christ. The council, attended by bishops from across the empire, resulted in the Nicene Creed, a statement of faith that affirmed the divinity of Christ and became a foundational text for Christian orthodoxy. The Council of Nicaea was significant not only for its theological decisions, but also for the precedent it set for imperial involvement in church affairs. Constantine's role in the council demonstrated his commitment to establishing a unified Christian doctrine and his willingness to use his imperial authority to achieve this goal. This involvement laid the groundwork for the close relationship between the church and the state that would characterize the Byzantine Empire and, later, the medieval Christian world. In addition to his theological interventions, Constantine also patronized the Christian church through the construction of numerous churches and basilicas, many of which were built on sites of Christian significance. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, built on the site believed to be the location of Christ's crucifixion and resurrection, is one of the most famous examples of Constantine's architectural legacy. These constructions not only served as places of worship, but also as symbols of the growing power and influence of Christianity within the Roman Empire. Constantine's religious policies had far-reaching consequences for the Roman Empire and the broader Christian world. By legalizing and promoting Christianity, Constantine set the stage for its eventual dominance as the state religion of the empire. This shift had profound implications for the cultural and political landscape of Europe, as Christianity became a central element of the identity of the Roman Empire and its successors. The Christianization of the empire also contributed to the development of a distinct Christian culture, characterized by its own art, architecture, and literature, which would shape the course of Western civilization for centuries to come. Part 3. Political and military reforms. While Constantine's religious policies are often the most discussed aspect of his reign, his political and military reforms were equally transformative. These reforms not only strengthened the Roman Empire during his lifetime, but also had long-lasting effects on its structure and administration. One of Constantine's most significant political reforms was the restructuring of the Roman government. Under Diocletian's tetrarchy, the empire had been divided into multiple administrative units, each governed by an Augustus or Caesar. While this system helped manage the empire's vast territories, it also led to internal power struggles. After defeating his rivals, Constantine abolished the tetrarchy and established a more centralized form of government. He retained the division of the empire into dioceses and provinces, but placed them under the direct control of imperial officials who reported directly to him. This centralization of power helped stabilize the empire and reduce the likelihood of internal conflicts. Constantine also reformed the Roman legal system, issuing new laws and edicts that reflected his vision of a Christianized empire. These laws covered a wide range of issues, including the protection of Christians, the regulation of religious practices, and the administration of justice. One of the most notable legal reforms was the codification of Roman law, which aimed to standardize legal practices across the empire. This codification laid the foundation for the development of the Byzantine legal system, which would influence European legal traditions for centuries. In the military sphere, Constantine implemented several key reforms that strengthened the Roman army and improved its effectiveness. He reorganized the army into two main groups: the comitatenses, or field armies, which were mobile units that could be deployed quickly to respond to threats, and the limitanei, or border troops, who were stationed along the empire's frontiers. This reorganization allowed the Roman army to be more flexible and responsive to external threats, particularly from the Germanic tribes and the Sassanid Empire. Constantine also increased the size of the army and improved its infrastructure, including the construction of new fortifications and the development of a more efficient supply system. These reforms helped to secure the empire's borders and maintain its military strength in the face of external challenges. One of Constantine's most enduring legacies was the founding of Constantinople, which he established as the new capital of the Roman Empire in 330 AD. Located on the site of the ancient city of Byzantium, Constantinople was strategically positioned at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, making it an ideal location for trade and defense. The city was designed to be a reflection of Constantine's vision of a Christian empire, with grand churches, palaces, and public buildings that rivaled those of Rome itself. Constantinople quickly became the political, cultural, and religious center of the empire, and its establishment marked a shift in the balance of power from the western provinces to the eastern provinces. This shift would have profound implications for the future of the Roman Empire, as the eastern half of the empire, centered on Constantinople, would endure for nearly 1,000 years after the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Constantine's political and military reforms not only strengthened the Roman Empire during his reign, but also laid the groundwork for the Byzantine Empire, which would carry on the legacy of Rome in the eastern Mediterranean for centuries. His vision of a centralized, Christianized empire would shape the development of European civilization and influence the course of history long after his death. Part 4. Economic and social changes. Constantine's reign also saw significant changes in the economic and social structures of the Roman Empire. These changes were driven by both the need to stabilize the empire and Constantine's desire to align the empire's institutions with his vision of a Christianized society. One of the most important economic reforms of Constantine's reign was the introduction of the solidus, a new gold coin that became the standard currency of the Roman Empire. The solidus was introduced in 312 AD, and its stability and reliability helped to restore confidence in the Roman economy, which had been plagued by inflation and currency devaluation in the preceding decades. The solidus remained in use for over 7 centuries, becoming a cornerstone of the Byzantine economy and influencing the monetary systems of medieval Europe. Constantine also implemented reforms aimed at improving the empire's tax system. These reforms included the regularization of tax assessments and the establishment of a more efficient system for collecting taxes. By ensuring a more stable and predictable flow of revenue, these reforms helped to strengthen the empire's finances and support its military and administrative needs. In addition to his economic reforms, Constantine's reign also brought about significant social changes. One of the most notable of these was the increasing role of the Christian Church in Roman society. As Christianity became more established and accepted, the Church began to play a larger role in social and charitable activities, such as providing for the poor, caring for the sick, and offering education. This shift reflected Constantine's belief that the Church should be a partner in his efforts to create a more just and moral society. Constantine's policies also had an impact on the social hierarchy of the Roman Empire. The Christianization of the empire led to the rise of a new elite, composed of bishops, clergy, and other Christian leaders who held significant influence in both religious and secular affairs. This new Christian elite often worked in partnership with the traditional Roman aristocracy, but tensions sometimes arose between the two groups, particularly over issues of wealth, power, and influence. Another significant social change during Constantine's reign was the increasing regulation of family life and social behavior. Constantine issued laws aimed at strengthening the institution of marriage, protecting women and children, and promoting moral behavior. For example, he passed laws that made it more difficult to divorce, imposed penalties on adultery, and provided legal protections for widows and orphans. These laws reflected Constantine's desire to create a society that aligned with Christian values and ethics. Constantine's reign also saw changes in the status of slavery within the Roman Empire. While slavery remained a fundamental part of the Roman economy and society, Constantine introduced laws that improved the legal status of slaves and provided them with certain protections. For example, he prohibited the branding of slaves on the face, allowed slaves to seek refuge in churches to escape mistreatment, and made it easier for slaves to gain their freedom. These changes, while limited, reflected the influence of Christian teachings on the treatment of slaves and contributed to a gradual shift in attitudes toward slavery in the Roman world. Overall, the economic and social changes that took place during Constantine's reign were closely linked to his broader efforts to stabilize the empire and align its institutions with Christian values. These changes had a lasting impact on the Roman Empire and its successors, shaping the development of European society and laying the groundwork for the transition from the ancient world to the medieval Christian world. Part 5. Constantine's Legacy. The legacy of Constantine the Great is vast and multifaceted, encompassing his contributions to religion, politics, culture, and society. His reign marked a turning point in Roman history, setting in motion a series of changes that would shape the future of Europe and the Western world. One of Constantine's most enduring legacies is his role in the establishment of Christianity as the dominant religion of the Roman Empire. By legalizing and promoting Christianity, Constantine laid the foundation for the Christianization of Europe and the development of Western Christendom. His support for the Church, his involvement in the formulation of Christian doctrine, and his patronage of Christian architecture all contributed to the growth and spread of Christianity. The impact of his religious policies can still be seen today in the Christian traditions, institutions, and values that continue to influence Western culture. Constantine's political and military reforms also had a lasting impact on the Roman Empire and its successors. His centralization of power, reorganization of the military, and establishment of Constantinople as the new capital helped to stabilize the empire and extend its longevity. The Byzantine Empire, which emerged from the eastern half of the Roman Empire, carried on many of Constantine's reforms and played a crucial role in preserving and transmitting the cultural and intellectual heritage of the ancient world to the medieval West. The city of Constantinople itself stands as a testament to Constantine's vision and legacy. For over 1,000 years, Constantinople served as the political, cultural, and religious center of the Byzantine Empire, and its influence extended far beyond the empire's borders. The city's strategic location, magnificent architecture, and vibrant culture made it one of the most important cities in the world, and its legacy continues to be felt in the modern city of Istanbul. In addition to his contributions to religion and politics, Constantine's reign also left a lasting mark on Roman law and governance. His legal reforms, including the codification of Roman law, influenced the development of the Byzantine legal system and the legal traditions of medieval Europe. Constantine's emphasis on justice, morality, and the protection of the vulnerable helped to shape the ethical foundations of Western legal systems. Constantine's legacy is not without its controversies, however. His reign was marked by acts of ruthlessness, including the execution of his own son Crispus and his second wife Fausta, both of whom were accused of plotting against him. These actions, along with his autocratic style of rule, have led some historians to view Constantine as a complex and contradictory figure. While he is revered as a saint in the Eastern Orthodox Church, his reputation in the West has been more ambivalent, with some scholars emphasizing his role as a pragmatic and ambitious ruler who used religion to achieve his political goals. Despite these controversies, there is no denying the transformative impact of Constantine's reign. His policies and reforms reshaped the Roman Empire, influenced the development of Western civilization, and left a legacy that continues to be felt in the modern world. Whether viewed as a visionary leader, a ruthless autocrat, or a saintly ruler, Constantine remains one of the most significant figures in the history of Rome and the Western world. Conclusion. The reign of Constantine the Great was a period of profound transformation for the Roman Empire and the world at large. Through his religious, political, military, economic, and social reforms, Constantine reshaped the empire in ways that would have lasting effects for centuries to come. His support for Christianity, in particular, marked a turning point in the history of religion, setting the stage for the Christianization of Europe and the development of Western Christendom. Constantine's legacy is complex and multifaceted, reflecting the diverse and often contradictory aspects of his rule. He was a ruler who sought to centralize power and stabilize the empire, but he was also a patron of the Christian Church and a promoter of justice and morality. His actions were driven by both pragmatic and idealistic motives, and his impact on history has been interpreted in various ways by different generations of historians and scholars. Ultimately, the significance of Constantine's reign lies not only in the specific policies and reforms he implemented, but also in the broader cultural and historical context in which he ruled. Constantine's ability to navigate the challenges of his time, to adapt to changing circumstances, and to leave a lasting legacy that continues to inspire and influence the world is a testament to his skill as a leader and his vision as a ruler. As we continue to study and reflect on the reign of Constantine, we gain valuable insights into the processes of historical change, the dynamics of power and authority, and the ways in which cultural symbols are created and transformed over time. The story of Constantine and the transformation of Rome is a reminder of the enduring impact that a single ruler can have on the course of history, and it challenges us to consider the ways in which our own actions and decisions may shape the future for generations to come. Thanks for listening. Like and comment, and please subscribe as that will help us get more videos out to those interested in the Middle Ages. See you next time on Medieval Chronicles 1066. Stay curious.